Hi everyone, this is Ryan Reagan, the founding partner of HKExcel. If you're watching this video right now, I suppose you want to boost your IB grades. Chances are, if you want to improve your IB grades, you need to be a lot more hardworking and you need to be more disciplined because these are the most important qualities that top IB students have. So I'm going to share with you today 3 tips on how you can become more disciplined and more hardworking. Because for me, I've experienced in this. In middle school, I was one of the laziest students in the entire grade. I was known as a slacker, right? But by the end of IB, I got 40 out of 45, and I was literally one of the most disciplined students in the entire grade. So today I'm going to share with you how I did it. Okay, this will help you to boost your IB grades dramatically. The first stage, if you're currently a slacker and you want to become more disciplined and more hardworking, the first stage is you need to set very concrete goals, and you need to have a compelling reason why you want to improve. Okay, so for example, when I was in middle school, I was literally like the bottom of the class, and I could see if I continued that way, I probably would go to a very crappy university, very crappy subject, and then I wouldn't do well in the job market, right? I wouldn't have a good future for myself. So that was a very strong reason why I was very determined to do well. And on the other hand, I saw that if I was able to get 40 out of 45, I could literally go to most of the universities, any universities I want to, I would have a very high chance of getting in because of the high IB grade. And that would ensure me to have a very bright future in the job market or in my career. That was the reason why I wanted to do well. So you need to have a compelling future for yourself. You need to see a future for yourself. You need to motivate yourself. Okay, you need to have enough motivation to actually get disciplined, right? So motivation is key, but motivation alone is not enough, right? So that brings us to the second step. So let's say you have a lot of motivation. You start studying every day, but if you use the wrong method of studying, even if you spend 10 hours every day, you're going to get crappy grades, and then you lose your motivation, right? Because let's say you're very motivated, but if you're not getting any result, that motivation is going to die off, right? So how do you get results from your studying? You need to learn the correct method of studying. Okay, that's a huge subject. Okay, so I'll just share with you a few very quick tips on how you can study more effectively to get results. Number 1, for weak subjects, getting a tutor would really help you because a tutor will be able to break down the exam questions for you and to show you what you need to study for. So a tutor can be a very good mentor to boost your grade. At HKExcel, we have the best IB tutors in the entire Hong Kong. Last year, we tutored over 25 students, 25% of all IB students. So that we're talking about like 600 IB students from the graduating class. Right? So if you're interested in getting tutoring, you can register for a free trial at HKExcel.com. Okay, so what our tutors would do for you is that we would show you all the concepts you need to know, break them down for you, and we'll show you how to study to prepare for a test, and we'll teach you how to do all the exam questions and teach you ways you can solve those exam questions very easily. So basically exam skills, right? So getting a tutor really help. And then another thing is setting a studying schedule. Okay, you need to have a very results-oriented studying schedule. Another concept is self-testing, right? When you study, you want to study in an active way. So don't just read your textbook. You need to be testing yourself over and over again, answering exam questions over and over again in your study to prepare yourself for the exam. Right? So if you're interested to learn more about study skills, you can download in the link in the description our study guide known as Becoming an IB Student Miracle. Okay, that book will summarize all the studying skills for you. Okay? Third step. Well, motivation doesn't last. Like, it's difficult to be motivated over a very long period of time. Motivation tends to die off, right? So what can you do if you want to create lasting change? What you need is habits is the key. Habits and identity, these 2 factors. Okay, so number 1, when you get into the habit of studying every day, get into the habit of preparing for a test in advance, like 2 weeks in advance, then it becomes a habit and it will be much more easier for you to stick to it. So I'll give you an example. For example, brushing your teeth is not an enjoyable thing to do, but because you know the benefits of brushing your teeth and because brushing your teeth is like a habit to you, that's why you would just brush it no matter what. You don't even need to think of it. So when studying becomes a habit, it would be just like brushing your teeth. You don't even need to use motivation. So that's what I mean when I talk about habit. When you have the right habits, you can really transform yourself. Another thing is your identity. So what does that mean? So if you're a lazy student right now, probably you think of yourself as a lazy student, but if you want to have a lasting change, you need to change your perception of yourself. You need to change your identity. So you need to think of yourself as a winner. You need to think of yourself as a very disciplined person, right? When you start to identify yourself as a disciplined person, your whole life is going to change. Because your identity change, that is going to change your behavior. So there was actually a study done. So it's very difficult to quit smoking. So researchers have found out that when smokers change their identity, that's the most effective way for them to quit smoking. So when smokers say to themselves, I'm not a smoker now, that kind of thinking is the most effective when it comes to stopping smoking, quitting smoking. On the other hand, if you just say to yourself, I can't smoke, that's very weak. And people who just say to themselves, I can't smoke, are most likely going to continue smoking because it's not an identity shift. So you need to change your identity to create lasting change. Okay, and that's what happened to me. I first got the motivation, I learned the studying habits, and then eventually it became a habit, and then I changed my identity completely. And by the end of high school, I was one of the best students in my grade. Okay, so I hope you find this video useful, and there are more free sources you can download in the description. And as I said, if you want to learn the studying skills and exam techniques from our top IB tutors, you can register in the description below. I hope to see you soon.